Are y'all ready? It's time. Woo! Good evening and welcome to Moments with Mama Sue. I am so delighted that you are here. I am glad to see you. I've already been scrolling through the comment section, just saying hello and excited that we're here one more time. Happy May, everybody. Can y'all believe it's already May? It blows my mind. The year just seems like it just barely started, and here we are already in the month of May. Well, today is Cinco de Mayo Day, but it's also a day for Moments with Mama Sue, and we're doing our Mother's Day episode today. So it's going to be a fun conversation, and oh my goodness, we're just going to celebrate, talk about moms, and pump up the ladies who rock the cradle and rule the world. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. But before we get in too deep, would you please go ahead and like and share this with your sphere of influence and tell them to come on and join us. We'd love to have them join us. That's the way that we grow our audience, because without you, it wouldn't even be worth doing, because you are the reason why we do this in the first place. And connecting with you is absolutely the best part of my day. Well, we got to give a shout out to all of the listeners that tune in via WJIL.Today TV. We're excited about those listeners that watch us in replay on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays via www.wjil.today Gospel Radio, Roku, and Fire Stick TV. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for loving what we're doing on Moments with Mama Sue. I would love hearing from you. So if you have some program ideas, something you want me to delve into, or somebody you want me to talk to, or maybe interview, send it along. Slide on into my DM and let me know, because this platform exists for positive reasons only and gives me an opportunity to introduce some wonderful people I know, to some other wonderful people I know. And that is the best part of it all. On tomorrow, we'll be back in sync. You know, last month or month before, we kind of got off because of the way that the calendar days fell. So the going to the Southeast Senior Center was happening on a day, on a week before we come on or the week after, but we're back in sync now. So tomorrow I will be at the Southeast Senior Center here in Midland. So if you're in the West Texas area and if you are 55 plus, you're in your golden era, we invite all of those who are in their wisdom years to come on over to the Southeast Senior Center for our sing-along. We have a great time. It is so much fun. And I never leave there when I don't feel just extremely blessed and lifted in my spirits. Well, if you're not able to join us in person, be sure and tune in to my Facebook page at Mama Sue Roseberry, because around 10:30-ish, I always go live and you'll get an opportunity to hear the beautiful melodic voices of the vivacious elderly citizens of Midland that will be there for the sing-along. And of course, we want you to join in and be a part of that as well. Then I want to remind you that I am available. I'm available to you. Yes, if you want to book me to be a part of something that you have going on, just hit me up. You can reach me via my website at www.sueroseberry.com, or of course you can connect with me by going to any of the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then just sending me a message and I'll get back with you. I absolutely love being a part of all the things that you are doing. It's so much fun. And when I get an opportunity to have some FaceTime, that is absolutely the best time. We encourage you to please go ahead and get your copies of our Thoughts from the Heart, because I have a Mama Sueism for every day of the year. 365 days of the year, 366 if it's a leap year. Let's see what it says for today, just as for an instance. It says, life is like a sandwich. Sometimes the beginning and the end of it are without fanfare, but in the middle is all the delicious stuff. Well, you can have a Mama Sueism for every day of the year. You can order that via my website at www.sueroseberry.com, and I would love to send it along to you. Well, we're in celebration mode because so many things are happening. We know that it's the month that graduations start taking place and weddings and all of that good stuff. But before we get to any of that, we have a standout celebration coming up, and that is Mother's Day. So we're ahead of it just a little bit, but we want you to know, for all of you that are tuning in, all the moms that are with us, we want you to drop that in the comments thread. Let us know if you're a mom, mom of two, mom of three, mom of one. And even if it's a fur baby, I know I got some fur baby moms on with us, but let us know. And we're going to be celebrating you today because that's what it's all about. And we're going to have my special guests on with me, the people who helped me to be a mom, my children. Well, one of them is going to be with me today, and we'll be speaking with her right after this.
It's beyond entertainment. It's an experience. Book Mama Sue Roseberry today.
And it's worthy. Woo! Yes, he's a great God. And I am in awe of the incredible things that he does. One of the incredible things that he did for me was allow me to get to be a mother. And so I want to introduce to you, she's been on the show before, but I'm bringing her back. I'm bringing her back. Come on, get ready. Drum roll. We're bringing her back. It's my youngest daughter, Jocelyn.
Hi.
Hey, girl. How was your day?
It was good. I had a really good day today. How about you?
Woo! My day was hectic, but I am glad that you are here. And I am glad that you are here to celebrate Mother's Day. I think mothers are the hardest working people in the free world. I ain't taking nothing from the daddies, but mamas got to be the hardest working people. What you think about that?
I agree. I agree.
So now you are really a mom. You are a real mom. I have two children, and my oldest daughter was scheduled to join us tonight, but work restraints kept her from joining us, and that happens sometime. She was sorry she couldn't make it, but we'll catch her up another time, carry me. But both of my daughters, I had two, the two girls, and then between them, they each had four apiece. They outdid me. They doubled up. They doubled up. So talk about what it's like being a mom of four. What is
Oh
that like?
goodness.
Because I don't even
It
know.
There is never a dull moment. Um, it is a an interesting thing. Something new every day. There is a new scenario. It almost seems like it's a sitcom. Um, it's something happening every day. Something funny is happening every day. And my kiddos, if you've ever met them or seen them, they are very animated and talented. And so we have a lot of fun at home. They make a song about everything. There's running, there's doing all of the school things, all of the extracurricular activities, um, and so most nights you kind of sit down and think, oh my gosh, did I do all of that today? And you get up and do it again the next day. So um, it's
Yeah,
not for the weak.
it's true. Good evening, Yolanda. And Yolanda is already asking, how old are the children? So let's go through the litany. Let's kind of start with all of them because then we'll get the full spectrum.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter has Taylor, who is 24. And then there's Javarius, who is 20.
Mhm.
And then there is Cadence, who is
My oldest, and he's 18. He just turned 18 um,
in March.
in
And
March.
and then my oldest daughter has an 18-year-old as of yesterday,
Mhm.
Lamarcus, he turned 18. And then we have Harper.
Who is 15. That's my second oldest.
And
And
then we go from Harper to Elijah, who
Elijah,
is 14, 13. He's
14,
13. Is he 14?
14, 14.
Okay, Elijah is 14. That's Kara's youngest. She has all boys. And then we go back to Jocelyn for the wind up, and you have,
I have a 9-year-old that is
you know,
Thelonious, but we call him Theo for short. And then I have a 5-year-old, the only girl out of the bunch, and that's Aria.
yep. And she is, let me tell you, she is quite something. Quite. That's all I can say. She's quite something, never ceases to amaze us. So, Yolanda, to answer your question in the short form, the children are ranging ages from 5 all the way up to 24. So now we're seeing what it's like. I thought that the biggest shock to me in my life, I want to think, was when I discovered I was going to be a mother for the rest of my life. Had you
Mhm.
thought about that?
I think so. It kind of set in um, after my first kiddo, maybe a few months into, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I have a kid and I am responsible for this person for the rest of my life. Um,
Yeah, because their needs change, and everybody thinks that, having babies is difficult, but when they're tiny, you can just wrap them up and put them somewhere, and that's it. They can holler and make noise, but, you know, they can't go out and do things that you told them not to do. And
mm,
somebody coined a phrase and said, when you have your children, when they're little, they're on your lap, and when they're older, they're on your heart.
mm,
What do you think about that?
that's pretty accurate. The I have a good range, so I have basically two sets of kids, and so my two youngest, I get to spend a little more time, and my older kiddos, they like to do more. Um, there's a lot more talking involved, and not as much doing. We discuss a lot of ideas and goals and their plans for the future, their perspective in life. And so it's really interesting to kind of see the
Hmm.
range on that.
Now, you talked about goals and plans. So, coming up, we got some celebrations this week for
Hmm.
the children in your family. What's coming up for this week?
So my oldest son, it will be graduating with his associates from early college.
Woo!
And my daughter will be graduating from preschool. So we like to celebrate big, and that is something that I got from you, just celebrating milestones and celebrating every little thing when you can. So we'll be celebrating those things in a big way this week.
Yeah, that was always big in our household, and we
Hmm.
didn't always have to put it bluntly. We didn't always have a lot of money for celebration, but boy, you couldn't beat the enthusiasm because I used to get 7 Up or Sprite or ginger ale, and we'd get out the good glasses and toast for A's and hundreds and passing things and getting awards, all of those things. That was important to me. And it's nice that you remember that and you kind of keep it going.
And I think everything is an opportunity to celebrate, and I love doing that with them. So.
Yeah, and dancing, and you do it well. There's
Mhm.
cakes and all kinds of things because this one, now your children, this is what you find out that your children are as different as daylight and dark. They got the same parents. You fed them the same food. You did the similar things in rearing them, but they are each so different.
Mhm.
So let's start at the top. Well, let's talk about Cade because the things that interest him, he's really so outgoing and uh, he's so charismatic. He's such a people person.
He is a people person.
What are his aspirations after he graduates?
Kate is goodness. I The sky's the limit with him. He wants to travel. He wants to do business and meet new people. He's very involved in nonprofit and community service and doing those type of things. So I'm pretty sure he'll continue doing that. He'll be going off to school, so a lot of those things he'll have to make his own way and get to start over fresh and, start a new chapter in life. So we're looking to see those kind of things with him. He just loves people. He's a people person. So
Well, now you're getting ready for the nest to start thinning out because they've been right here all the time. So,
mhm.
what are some of the things that you are challenged with as a parent trying to be a parent to an adult? I want to hear this. I want to
Yeah,
hear this.
well, then a lot of the challenge is just kind of letting them go and not jumping in to fix it all of the time. That's probably the hardest thing for me as a mother. Now I do have my husband is usually pretty good about kind of giving them space to kind of fail and just offering the support. Um, and I am a fixer, and so I want to jump in and kind of cushion stuff or smooth things over, and so that's been harder for me to kind of pull back and not do that as much. And I'm weaning myself off of it because I need to be available for him to need me in a different way, and so I need to make space for that and make room for that instead of being trying to smooth stuff over and fix everything.
And it's real hard. People, I think that every parent falls into the trap of trying to somehow a little bit project our desires for that child onto them. It's hard to say as they're growing up. Maybe they don't like the things you like. They're not interested in the things you're interested in, but you just want it so bad for them that it's sometimes a little difficult to kind of sit back and just kind of let them develop and grow in their own way.
Well, and I've had a firsthand, you know, I've had a front row seat to watching him grow. So you kind of, um, you kind of uh, see patterns or you think things are going to go a certain way. And as they mature, things change and they don't do the same thing that they do or that you're used to them doing, or they have different ideas or um, different goals than what you plan for them. And that's okay. I'm learning to be okay with that.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and she sounded so good about it today, y'all. Because some days it's not easy like that. These children, but I found out when you all got grown and were out of the house, and I was on my own. I had to rediscover who I was. And there may be some moms who are on with us today who can share some thoughts about that as we're speaking about this, because while your children are doing what they do, it's real important for mothers not to forsake their own personal goals and lives, because once the children are gone, then it's just like, who am I? Who am
Mhm.
I when I'm not taking you to soccer and ballet and going to all of your PTA meetings? Who am I then? So that's a big adjustment. So that's hard to do, but I encourage y'all wholeheartedly. Don't feel like you're being selfish because you managed to take some time to continue to develop who you are.
Mhm. And that is another challenge too, because we're pretty close knit, and we don't spend too much time away from each other. We all kind of get into the same things. We all kind of like some of the same things. So when we do have space, it's nice, but it's not long before we're missing one another. So that will be an adjustment when he goes off to school, to figure out how we're going to make that work.
When I went off to school for the first time, I was ready to go because I needed to flex my I'm grown up muscles. I was ready to go to school, but I sure did have some homesickness. What are you doing to get prepared for dealing with homesickness?
Oh boy. Just trying to make sure that I remember some of his favorite things, or um, trying to think of different things that would help, comfort him, or what I would send in a care package. Figuring out the postage system. I didn't realize how much I don't use that. Those are, and really trying to be present in the moment and not just kind of do all of the things, but really kind of take it all in so that I can remember those things, because I think it'll be probably harder on me than it will be um, anybody else, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. That dad is pretty locked in.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. But listen, let's talk about this. Let's go back because you are my baby. So when you were coming up and when you got ready to go off to school, we went and took you to Texas Tech and painted your room. And, I mean, we were extra. We were extra. I mean, we couldn't just put her in the dorm room. We went and painted the room because we didn't think it was good. And
Yeah.
so we did a little over the top stuff. Do you think you are over the top, Mom?
I'm a little extra. I am. So I have to pull back, but when I do pull back, they kind of look at me waiting for the rest of the pizzazz. So I am over the top, and I can totally see me painting or doing something else too, if it's needed.
Yeah, we went and I mean, it was a whole little caravan went up to the school and we had brought paint and rollers and we painted the dorm room before we left so that it would be all fresh and nice. Now, everybody's child is not like my youngest now, but yeah, she was a little particular.
Well, but that was a cool experience to know that I had so many people in my corner that would be willing to paint a room
Yeah.
instead of just making me live with what I had.
Or any other things, because that's what
Mhm.
parents do. That's what moms do. We find ourselves doing the thing, well, I'm not going to do so and so. I remember my mother always fussing about everything I was asking her to do. I'm not going to be doing so and so. If you think I'm going to do so and so. And then she'd say, here's so and so and so and so. But you better make sure. It just seemed like she just had to fuss about it, but she
You
was
have
going
to
to
fuss
do it.
about it, but you're gonna do it. Yeah.
But she was going to do it anyway. Well, let's talk about now since we've talked about the spectrum of your children in your present day situation. Let's go back a little bit and talk about some of the things that you now know about motherhood that you didn't know when you were coming along, because all of our kids, I've heard it a million times, think that we don't want them to be happy because we are enforcing rules or guidelines or suggestions. I certainly heard it from mine. They thought, you just don't want me to be happy. But I did.
uh,
So,
well, you just want me to on that. You know, a lot of the things that you have taught me or the different things that you have said start to come into play. And it's funny to me how sometimes I open my mouth to talk to my kids and it seems like you are talking to them. Some of the same things, just, and it seems natural. So it definitely a lot of the advice and the things that you know, that you taught us, it's helpful even now. And so I remember that.
Well, one of the things that I said uh, that I thought about is that my mother got smarter the older I got.
Oh yeah. And
Have you
I
found that to
am
be true?
I'm blessed to even have you because goodness, I feel like I call you for everything. Just mom, what do you do about this? Mom, what do you do about that? And you having to remember some of the things, even from when they were babies on up until now. What did you do? How did you do this? How did you do that? And so it's always good to have you still in my corner, helping me be a mom even still. So I appreciate that.
Well, I tell you what, those grandchildren are something special and they can wheedle things out of you that your children couldn't even get. Now, I have heard, I have heard that sometimes it is said that Sue Mommy does this for the grandchildren and she didn't do that
Oh yeah.
for us.
One of the things that it's funny to me is when they come back from some type of fast food place or a restaurant. We never got to go. In fact, I remember you anytime I would
Oh,
ask my mom, can we go? Can we go to McDonald's? And you kind of speed up and past McDonald's. So when the kids stay with you or they go do something with you and they come back in the house with Chick-fil-A and we're thinking, where did y'all get that from? No, so mommy took us to Chick-fil-A or we're at this place with Mommy. And I thought that we think that is so funny.
well, and disposable income is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing. It was not maybe as readily available when y'all were little because when y'all grew up, y'all ate a lot of fish sticks. Y'all ate a lot of fish sticks, a lot of fries, a lot of those kind of things because we were always running to something. And I have to say that y'all were some little troopers because I was so heavily involved between work and at one time even being a caregiver for my elderly mother and grandmother at the same time. And they were little girls, but we had a routine and they were just troopers. Did you all feel like you were being deprived?
No, we thought it was pretty normal and kind of cool to get to go to all of these things and do different things. Gosh, I can't remember. I couldn't tell you or count how many banquets we have been to, how many we've been to so many banquets. We've known the national anthem since we could. Goodness, maybe since I was about 6 or 7, known it word for word because we've been to every kind of sports game where you had to sing the national anthem. We've gotten to go and travel to all kind of different places where you would normally not see children. And we were there and we were little troopers and we loved it. So we thought it was kind of cool and kind of normal. And so it now that I'm a parent and you have to think about, your kids' personalities and are they going to be able to sit here long enough or do this long enough? It's different. for sure, but we didn't know. We thought it was pretty cool.
Well, one thing that I always appreciated about you and Carmi were that you would take instructions so well. You would, if I told you to do something, y'all knew to do that. If I set y'all somewhere when we went to choir rehearsal, y'all didn't have to be sitting up in the choir stand, and I didn't have to give you an iPad. None of that. You knew that if I had to turn around, because you recognize what? The look.
Well, I think it was more than that too. There was the look and part not wanting to be called over the microphone because that has happened a couple of times too. So,
Ooh, called out, yeah. Because in the middle of
called out
what
over
you
the
doing at Jocelyn, or
over the microphone in the middle of practice, and so that was we didn't want that to happen. That was scary.
oh wow. So now y'all getting the real deal of
Mm.
Sue Roseberry carrying these children along to rehearsal. But the byproduct of that was that you guys learned to sing. You learned to sing at home and did harmony beautifully from the time that you were real little girls.
Mm.
Now, we've seen other people that are in the public eye industry that have sung and done things, but you guys were that kind of prodigy as well because you learned it. You sang.
Mm. Those are some of my favorite memories is getting around the piano and kind of teaching us what part we were supposed to sing and um, all of the songs we were talking the other day and trying to remember all of the songs that we listened to and learned and we're trying to make a playlist. So that's one of the things that we're still working on, but that's one of my some of my best memories of growing up is the singing and uh, being on program. We would be on program somewhere singing or learning things at the piano. That's we spend a lot of time doing that
Yeah, we spent a lot of time, and we also spent a lot of time in the car
in the blue
learning
bus.
music.
In the blue bus, we called it the blue bus. It's a blue Chevy Suburban, and we
Yeah.
spent a lot of time in the blue bus listening to music. Clark Sisters, Commission, Dawkins and Dawkins, choir music, Hezekiah Walker. Uh, we listened to so much music and
And who was
learned
your
it.
favorite? Who was your favorite?
Oh goodness, I really liked Angie and Debbie and BB and Cece. That was my jam.
Yeah. And there was a group, I cannot remember their name now right off the top. Dun-dun-dun. Maybe it will come to me somewhere along the conversation, but there was a group that you used to love to hear over and over, and we played those cassettes in the car until they were white. I mean, no
Hmm.
label, just we knew which one it was. We could feel it. We could tell this was a commission. My oldest daughter loves commission to this very day, and Hezekiah Walker, anything that Monique say.
She can word for word, run for run. Um,
And then we were laughing, talking about some of the songs that we heard from that time period. Because if you think about it, what was they saying in these songs? Uh, uh, put it down. One of the lyrics was saying, put it down, crackhead. Put it down. And y'all would repeat that. I mean,
we be singing
verbatim.
that. 9 years old, singing it verbatim.
And we
Yeah.
were singing at the top of our lungs, traveling from here, sometimes in the blue bus, all the way to Nashville. We went to go see Beverly Crawford release her
Oh, in
CD.
Nashville. That
Hmm.
was cool, and getting to meet Beverly Crawford and her daughter, I think it was Sheila. At that big church, we had never, well, yes, we had been to a recording. We had been to a recording before, but we were in Nashville to go see Beverly Crawford, and that was cool watching them do the live recording with all of the takes.
Hmm.
Uh, what's
What's one of
mother?
the What's one of the best gifts you ever got as a child? Best gifts.
Best gift? Goodness, it's a toss up between my magic tea party and the little fashion plates things because I would play with those things for hours.
Yeah.
And the little fashion plate thing, I almost could kind of take it with me sometimes.
I asked in the chat for them to list the best advice your mom ever gave you, and you all can put that in the chat. What's the best advice that your mother ever gave you? Yvonne's husband says the best advice his mom gave him was never meet a stranger. And that's
Hmm.
good advice. That's good advice because sometimes we act standoffish, and I would say along with that to recognize that everybody is important. Everybody is important. I don't care if it's the cafeteria lady, the custodian, the person that's working the lights, the teacher, the principal, whoever they are. Everybody is important.
Hmm.
And that's the way that I hope I have reared you all to revere and respect that people are important just because they are alive, and they are important to God. So therefore they are important to us.
Some of the best advice that, and I live it and quote it, and anytime I have to write it for, we went to the senior dinner at church last night, and I wrote it on the little cards to the seniors, the scripture, the blessing of the Lord, and maketh rich, and it addeth no sorrow to it. That is something that you have always taught us, and I live my life by that. Anything that comes from God, it's a whole and complete blessing, and it doesn't he doesn't add any sorrow to it.
Yeah,
Um,
and that was important to me because sometimes we're trying to get things and we think it's a blessing from the Lord. Well, it ain't no blessing if it's causing
Having a
you to
strain.
grieve.
Hmm.
It ain't no blessing from God if you got to work 4 jobs to pay for it. That ain't no blessing. That's a curse. It ain't no
Hmm.
blessing if you have to spend the night awake trying to watch it and look after it. It ain't no blessing from the Lord if it's got grief attached to it. So that's what I always wanted you to know, that if God is going to bless you, He's going to give you something that adds joy and happiness to your life, not something that you have to grieve over. And then Yvonne said her mother's best advice to her was always strive for excellence, but in your striving, remain humble. That's good advice. That's good advice. And Yvonne's mom is 100 years old.
Oh.
She's a centenarian. So that's good advice. She's lived in a long time, seen a lot of things. And I think that is exceptional and wonderful. Well, I tell you what. Oh, yeah, Yvonne, 101. She said
Oh,
101.
that's awesome.
And she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. But listen, when we have the opportunity to get together, I think that it's one of the most wonderful things in the world when mothers share knowledge and information with their daughters. Tell them what they can expect and what they can look forward to. And so I try to give y'all the heads up about things that are coming down the road, things that are coming down the road. But to know that you have children that God has allowed you, I say God has allowed you to play a part in shaping what goes on with them. That is a very important job. So, for every mom that's out there, we celebrate you. We celebrate you today, and we want you to know how special you are. And just for a moment, I want to share something with you that I hope will make your day and be a blessing to you. And here it is, right here. Mama, thank you for always being there to show me that you care when life seems so unfair. You made it right. And Mama, thanks for always doing what you could to make sure that I was good. I've always understood how much you loved me. So let me take the time to let you know how much I appreciate you. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, and every prayer you pray. I can't forget all you've done. It's etched forever in my heart. There's so much that I could say. I need more than just one day to tell you. So let me take the time to let you know how much I appreciate you. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, and every prayer you pray. I can't forget all you've done. It's etched forever in my heart. There's so much that I could say. God knows I need more than just one day. To tell you, Mama, you mean everything to me. I love you, Mama. Ooh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Well, there we are. And my eyes get full of water when I see that because some of the pictures in that lyric video are of my mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother. Yeah. So I encourage you to find a way to celebrate your moms while you still have them. If they aren't with you any longer, recognize that they have poured into you everything that they could. And so do something that celebrates them. I know it's difficult when Mother's Day comes around for a lot of people. They grieve about having lost a mom. And so our prayers are there for God's strength and comfort. But do something that celebrates them. I miss my mom and my grandmother. And so I try to do something that I think would honor them or celebrate them in some way. And that keeps them close to my heart. And by all means, talk about them because that keeps them close as well. Jocelyn, we're getting ready to wind up here, but let's talk about the best recipes. We're going to do a speed thing now. Here we go. Best recipe you ever got from your mama.
That's a recipe from my mom. Ooh. Basic chicken and rice or mac and cheese.
All right. Best advice. Well, you already said you got that advice. So what is the best trip your mama ever took you on?
Best trip? I'll have to go with Memphis. We loved going to Memphis, Tennessee. That was an every year trip.
To the Holy
To
Convocation.
the Holy Convocation. Lots of
Oh,
little memories wrapped up in that.
yeah. Okay, I already asked you earlier about your best gift. What was the best fashion advice you ever got from your mom?
Foundation. You need foundation. Everybody needs good foundation.
Foundation
Mm.
slips are of God. Slips are of God. He created that. And as we're talking about that, what's something that you have picked up from me that you wish you could quit doing? Mm. Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I have one.
Well, I got one. My mama and my grandmother instilled in me that you never leave town and leave your home unclean. So whenever I'm going out of town, I got to clean up. The beds are all made, the laundry's all done, everything is in ship shape condition because they used to tell me, now think about this, how much sense do it make? In case you die or something happened and you can't come home, you don't want people coming in your house and saying your house was dirty. I wish I could shake that because I'm thinking now the sense that it makes is goose egg. If I'm dead and gone, who will care? I won't care. If I'm dead and gone, I will not care if somebody comes in and there is a glass in the sink or a dish in the sink. But I can't shake it. Every time when I think I'm gonna just do this and go, but before I leave, I gotta make sure it's done.
Yeah, you kind of passed that one on, but I don't know that I would give it back or shake it.
Well, the only good part of it now, the plus side of that is that when
Being
I do
home.
make it home, everything is in order.
Hmm.
Everything is in order. And it's nice. And what traits do you think you got from your mom?
Oh, I definitely got resourcefulness and being able to come up with solutions quickly. Um, what other traits? Music. I got that from you. Um, Encouraging people. I got that from you. Uh, I like to think I get my creativity and all of that stuff I got from you. And I don't know if it's a trait, but definitely part of my raising, being able to make up songs on the fly. My kids do it now too. So uh, definitely something that you passed on. We make up a song about any and everything.
Yeah. Well, those were fun times, I think. And one of the things that I'm enjoying watching you as a mom, because every day, y'all, as Jocelyn goes about her morning, I get a call. And I don't know if it's a wellness check. I think it could be several things wrapped up into one. It could be a wellness check, and then it could just be a, hey, how you doing, mama? And talking. But every morning we have dubbed it, her uncle gave it the title Morning Travels with Jocelyn, because she is doing 1,000,009 things, because at one point you had to take children to 4 different schools
Yeah.
and all the things in between. Somebody forgot this assignment, or you had to go back and get this or do that. And so it was all of that travel in between, and the talking and the fun, and then it would be going. I watch her and I'm just in awe. I am in awe of the energy and the I don't know, just the tenacity that it takes to get up every day. Because I've had a few days when grandma has had to be a pretty good substitute. I'm gonna say I was a pretty good substitute when the parents were out of commission or out of the country, and I had a chance to have extended taking the children to school days and all of that. And I would come home just gasping for air and thinking, Lord, that was the morning. And I got to go back out in the afternoon and go back on that route and pick them up in traffic. Woo, woo.
Yeah, we have to do the light duty when they say when they're not with us. But it's funny to just say, you tell your kids we're not doing all of that.
Uh-huh. I
We're
tell them,
not
I say,
doing that.
tell
We're not
them
doing
that
that.
no extracurricular. No extracurricular. No, I'm not going to the soccer field and huckle buckle. I did go to one soccer game, and we were hauling across. I felt like I had been on a African safari. I had the lawn chair, the outdoor chair, and all of that, just trying to make it happen. But props to modern day parents, because you all are doing so many things. And I kid you not, I say it all the time, and I will say it publicly, that I think that you are a great mom, and that you are rearing your children with so much love and so much compassion and so much enthusiasm for uh, for their development, because they get to participate in so many things. And I applaud you for that. You and Kermie both, you're great moms. You're there. You're going to the school, getting the kids, you're at all of their things. It's a job. It's a job. But I
Mhm.
applaud mothers, especially these young moms.
Well, we learned from the best. So
Ah, well, to everybody that's watching with us, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being part of Moments with Mama Sue today. And I want to wish you all in advance a happy Mother's Day. I pray that God will bless you with a day that is filled with joy, and that people will love on you, moms, the way that they should, because you are so deserving. I hope that you'll follow me and be a part of everything that I have going on. I want you to be sure to get connected via my website at www.sueroseberry.com. Make sure that you're connected and that you're a part of Mama Sue's family. And then I ask you to follow me on social media. Be sure that you like, follow, subscribe, continue to stay engaged, because That's what this is all about. And I am enjoying so much having the opportunity to be connected with you. Jocelyn, thanks for being here with me today.
I was happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I love you,
Love you too, Mama.
and I love all of you. Bye bye.